hello, everyone, and welcome to the Ultra Realistic Farming Channel for Farming Simulator 19, where we use real tractors, we use real equipment, we have realistic tutorials, and we have a real lot of fun. Today, we're going to set off and we're going to cultivate with our new tractor, the John Deere 8650. This tractor, we're going to talk a little bit of tractors first. This tractor was made between 1982 and 1988 under the 8050 series. It's a four-wheel drive tractor. It was made in Waterloo, Iowa, U.S. It was started out at $95,000 in 1988 was the highest it ever got. The 8650 was the middle model of John Deere's 50 series four-wheel drive tractors that were the first available in 1982. With a horsepower of 290 horsepower, all the way up amplified to 450 horsepower, it rivaled the Big Bud. Now, the person that made this in the mod hub went a little overboard with the 1200 horsepower, because it's not 1200 horsepower in real life, although it is a real tractor. It base engine was 290 horsepower, but beefed up to 440, like I said. Power details, it did range up with the PTO power of over 600 horsepower. It could pull, but the actual horsepower was only 400 something. It was an articulated four-wheel drive tractor with hydrostatic power and hydrostatic hydraulic wet disc brakes. And I figured I would come on once in a while and just explain the real tractors and what they really were in real life and just go from there. It had a capacity of 37.5 gallons of gas, or shall we say fuel. We'll do it the right way. Wheelbase from corner to corner was 125 inches from one end to other end. So width, let me get over here. So the total width of it was 125 inches. Now I went ahead and put duals on it, which probably added quite a bit more. They only made tractors, like I said, for 6 years in this make. So this tractor is pretty old, actually. You think about 1988, it's what, 33 years old, 34 years old? 33, I think. So I just wanted to, every once in a while, come on and explain what was going on and the real tractors, real equipment, things like that. First and foremost, before we get started, I wanted to give a huge shout out to Raznik. He sent off a link in his stream today for my channel, and my little baby channel appreciates that. I thank you. So I also decided to name our worker. Remember, we talked about that last time. We're gonna name our worker Joe, because if you guys know from playing Farm Sim, when you hire a worker, every once in a while it's a girl, and if it's a boy, it's a girl. It's a boy. It's never the same. So Joe, I figured, would be unisex, and it would cover both. So that way I can hire Joe and be done with it. And I also brought back the manual attach. I want to keep using it because it is realistic. It's a pain in the butt. So you may hear me get frustrated every once in a while, and I may take it out. I may add it. But our timer's going. This thing, the sound on this tractor, it's a really well done mod. Interior, gas pedal works. The little lever for the clutch works. That's kind of neat too. The key shifter turns, but it's pretty basic. But as I also explained to you guys that we were upgrading equipment, I am going to try to get one headland done now that I've talked for like 5 minutes. I'm going to try to get one headland done, and then hire Joe off as a worker here so that we can. I've got to go down and buy a ginormous sprayer, an Amazon sprayer that I downloaded, a 40-meter width. This thing has delayed up and down the cultivator. Gonna be a while to get used to the You know what I may do? do this so that I can... Sounds like an airplane. There. Now I can just talk. I put it at 11 miles an hour, which is pretty realistic. It's about what you would go. But now we're doing 15 meters wide instead of... I had a 10-meter one, so it's 5 meters wider. But I went through and I checked, and we didn't need any lime. All we needed is... And we've got one level of... sorry, as I clear my throat here. I've got plowed and one level of fertilizer. We're going to cultivate it. We're going to plow, we're going to fertilize again, which will be 66%. Then we'll go ahead and seed once our temperature reaches 41. We're going to seed some canola here first, and then we're going to fertilize it once it jacks up through the ground. Once it sprouts, it goes blip, comes up through. So how's everybody doing tonight? For me, it's about, let me check my watch here, 11:45 in the morning. Well, at night for me. You all know why. It's late for me. But it is now, let me check here, Tuesday. We're about ready to hit Wednesday. Times are flying. I was monkeying around today on off camera on Bessie Beneath, the UK map. I've never done a UK map. Plus, I was experimenting with some things that I found out from a couple of YouTubers that they gave me some tips. So, if you ever want to kind of cheat a little bit, not necessarily cheat, but what the game allows in a way, you start your game without seasons. Okay? Make sure that your fields, that you buy your fields and stuff have crops in them. If you want to start with cows, you buy your cows, you feed them, everything you get done, and then you save it. And then when you start up your game with seasons enabled, it will ask you if you want to keep the crops. So you can actually start with crops, and your cows will start producing milk right away, like immediately. So all this time, this entire 3 years I've been playing this legit. And I've been waiting a year. So today I was monkeying around on Bessie Beneath, the UK map. They never play UK maps, ever. I always play either start your own map or that sort of thing. No Man's Land and Rusty Acres, maps that are already pretty much pre-made. Or I do long gig maps, as you all know. I was huge into logging there for a while. But it was funny because all this time, for the entire 3 years, I did not know that that was a thing. I really didn't. And I was like, wow, that's kind of cool. Shut this down. And so I was monkeying around today, and I was like, hey, my cows are producing milk, like, right away. So we'll go ahead and get this. Oh, you know what? I got to change one thing. So you guys can see at the bottom corner, I changed the acres. That one strip was over 4 acres. Isn't that nuts? But yep, I want to start getting the, what do you call it there? The tractors, the actual readings and horsepowers and what years they were made and stuff, so that if you guys want to download it, I'll make sure I put a link in this. But the maker of the mod, you can get it off the farmingsimulator.com website. The maker of the mod made it 296 horsepower to start, and 1200 is your choices. And I think they did that so that, because remember when I read that off to you, the PTO had abilities to pull up to 600 horsepower worth, even though it was only rated for 440, I think I said. So I think, I don't know. I've got this one adjusted for real life. I went it through as a modder myself, and I went through and I adjusted the weights and I adjusted what it really was in real life so that it pulls what it's supposed to pull. This cultivator would require 400 horsepower in real life. And as you can see, I'm pulling this at 11 miles an hour. So pulling it pretty quick, and it's only got, I think my tractor's only got 330 horsepower. But it's the weight and all that stuff that you do. See, now getting 15 meters, we're rocking and rolling here. Because I'll tell you, when I first started the field, and I started with 10 meter equipment, like I told you guys before, when it takes you, 8 point something hours, real lifetime, and you're trying to fit in real life in the middle of that, But as Resnick explained, I am a retired farmer. I was a farmer in real life. I grew up as a farmer as a kid, and was a farmer pretty much through my adult life until I was about mid to late 20s. Well, pretty much 20-something years of farming. And, I just wanted to move away. But on the same token, now I'm going to have to get this one over a little bit. So, experience. Resnick asks a lot of questions about real farming. He has several real farmers that go on his channel, and that's kind of cool. It's not an easy life, but it's not a hard life either. You do get a lot of government subsidy. You get a lot of. That's pretty much how you make your money. You make it via the government, because equipment is so expensive. Like, if you think about reality, like this tractor here in 1988, 33 years ago, it starts at 290 horsepower at $95,000. Okay, now in 1988, it was a different time. I was still farming then, and it was a different time. It was people didn't have $100,000 laying around, and if you upgraded it, you couldn't. So you would have to get a loan from the government and that sort of thing. So I'm going to cut over here. Now, as you guys can see, what I did do over here, put that row of trees, this used to be part of this field, and I cut it off, and I decided to make it grass. So this was 278 acres to start, and it's now about 200. So we made about 78 acres of grass. But anyways, getting back to my story. So if you're not, like back in 1988, $100,000 was a lot of money to buy a tractor. You just didn't have it. Farmers don't make a butt ton of money, as they say. They're reliant on the government. They're reliant on like right now, the poor farmers are going through the bean thing and the wheat thing, where you have to produce so much, and if you don't produce so much, then you have to make up for it some way or somehow, pay it back. Otherwise, you don't get as much money. So you've got guys that are now, buying up every possible land next to them and above them and around them and plowing in fields. And big commercial farmers like this, you think, like Millennial Farmer and things, you think they make a lot of money. They don't. All his money's tied up in equipment. I mean, he makes a living. As a farmer, you make a living. You don't make great money, but you make a living. And it's hard work, and it's never easy. But it's not hard, and it's, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know how to give the words. It's not for everybody, that's for sure. I started working on the farm probably at about age 5, and, breaking hay bales down to give to the cows and to the calves, and, you're 5 years old, and you're doing that stuff with a pitchfork, and then by the time you're 8 or 9, you're driving tractors. So, look at, if you guys get a chance, take a look at 10th generation, or not 10th generation, Pennsylvania Dairyman. It's a kid, literally, probably about 14, 15 years old. Now what I'm going to do is, I don't get a good turning radius with this. I'm going to go here. one more pass here, and then there. And then when I get up there, I'll turn him loose. But anyways, watch him. He's Pennsylvania Dairyman. He's about 14, 15 years old kid. And look what he does. Look what he does for a living. I mean, he's out there doing, driving tractors and working and baling hay and wrapping stuff. And you don't see his dad in any of the videos. He's doing that all by himself, and I can relate. The kid reminds me of myself. But anyways, a couple of tractor stories, and we got about 15, 20 minutes left, and we'll be able to wrap the next episode up. I didn't have much time. This is exactly where I left off. I didn't have much time to work today off camera. I was busy, but that's life. Everybody's busy. Plus, I try to support other YouTubers. I try to support, Raznick and Farmer Klein. So when they're streaming or they're videoing, I try to go and check them out. Even if it's just for a few minutes, it's the support. Throw a like up for them, and that's the thing. They've all supported me, and that's the thing is YouTube is not a money making scheme. Anybody and their brother will tell you that. You're not. It takes years and years and years to get up to where the big guys are, to where you're making money. I had a friend of mine that was like, oh, if I could make the money that Tim the Tap Man's making. And I said, you know what? Tim the Tap Man's been on YouTube for like 10 years. He was like 15 or 16 when he started. And look at him now. He's in his mid-30s. And yes, he's making money now, but that's a career. So people need to understand that. And I want to put out YouTube content for Farm Sim, and we only got 7.5 weeks for Farm Sim 22. I'm so stoked. I hope they even add even more realism to it, because I just want to teach. I want to teach people what it's like to be a real farmer. I want to teach people what it's like and how and why we do things as farmers, and that's it. Wow, I've only done 12 acres, and that tractor's filthy already. The other thing that I got to change, you see the guy made a purple exhaust. That wouldn't be realistic. I'm just hoping in Farm Sim 22 that Giants, as much as I love the game, as much as I really love the game and play it all the time, every day, 7 days a week, they fix the testing process. In the beginning, it was great. People were getting mad. Like, I have several friends from modding sites that got their stuff on the farmingsimulator.com website, and anybody who's ever tried to do that, my mod was rejected 7 times, and then finally I just gave up. I was done, because it was rejected because Giant's editor is absolutely a pain to work with, and it kept getting a Lua error, and I couldn't find it. All right, so now we're going to get it set up where he goes down on his own. And I hope I have enough time to go by. One thing nice about the articulated tractors, I just want to get him up there just a little bit. And then there he goes. He should go straight. There you go. We set Joe off. All right, good. I'm going to take this bad boy. This is the John Deere 7930. I had this exact tractor on my farm growing up. So much, much, much love to this tractor. She's a good old beaut. Probably made early to late 80s. Get out here a little bit so we don't have to get so loud. But this sprayer I'm about to buy is going to be like $125,000, but it's 40 meters. So if I go 7 miles an hour at 40 meters, but my cultivator's going 15 with 15 meters, he should be able to stay in front of me. At least in theory. And in real life, like cultivating, we probably would go. That's why you see me twitching like this. I'm using my controller. But in real life, when you're cultivating, you're probably going, realistically, probably 10, 11, 12 miles an hour. I mean, that's pretty good. Our tractors never had speedometers, as you can see. This is the exact replica. This mod was made in the in-game mod hub, but it's modified by me. All this interior and stuff is completely different. I mean, this is what it is in real life. The outside tractor was made by another person. That's why I don't put any links to this, because this is modified by me. But as you can see, the only thing we had, I'll slow down, is the RPMs. And that's it. And the speed. And ours was broke. You couldn't even see it. There was a big crack in it. Somebody hit their boot on it or something, probably. But there's not very much going on in this tractor. It's pretty simple. These buttons here, the 4 little buttons right next to on that brown dashboard. The first one there raises and lowers your implements. The second one and third one turn your PTO. The second one turns your PTO on. The third one, or the second one in from the right, adjusts, what do you call it there? The hydraulic pump thing. And the first one, I can't remember what the first one did. The yellow button there was a speed thing. You see how it's actually orange. You see how the orange button's going? Well, the first one is you would put it in gear. Okay. This was the first tractor that had a clutch and was clutchless that came out. So what you would do, okay, you see how it has the turtle and the rabbit, which is you turn your RPMs up by that little orange thing, see it? And then you adjust your speed, however fast you want it, by the second little orange button. And that's how it works. So you could switch this tractor into gear without using the clutch. You could use the clutch, but you could switch it in without using the clutch. And then the thing on the bottom is the gas, obviously. The 2 buttons next to it is the brake, and they're connected together usually. And the third one over, obviously, is the clutch. And you could push the clutch in and put it into gear. It was the first one that had the US style that had a variable transmission, so you didn't have to shift. It was pretty cool. But this was up here's your. No, we didn't even have a radio either. Yeah, you're right. So I forgot this one came with a radio. I took it out. Down here is this first section over here is your air conditioning and your heater. And your second one in here is your windshield wipers. Your hazards are your red. Your 4-ways or your beacons are your yellow. And this button here opens the back window. So you see how it has a latch on it that opens it. This also clicks it open. Boom. And then you can just push it open. That's it. All right, so let's buy this sprayer and get home. Crop protection. Now, I just downloaded this today. Okay, so this one here has 36 meters. This one has a 24, 30, a 36, and a 40. We're going to try the 40 and see if it's too big, then we'll downgrade it. And we're going to go 7 miles an hour standard. I got to probably go care wheels on it because I may be fertilizing after. 120 grand. Now we only got $70,000 left. That is crazy. But I got watching some of my videos back, and I thought to myself, the one thing I'm not doing, keep forgetting. Oops. I forgot how to. Give me 1 second. I gotta do some. I forgot how to open the door on this. It's been so long. One day. Oh, there it is. Okay, I got it back now. All right, hook it up. PTO. Hoses. Now this one has 8 hoses. Was a possibility to have another implement hooked way back here if you wanted to. So you could have multiple hoses or multiple implements. Good job. Let's take a quick look around. It's 200. This is absolutely an agricultural dream to have something like that. We never, not even close. All right, boom. All right, so let's get back to the farm. Get this filled up. Now, there's one thing that I did not do realistic on this map, and I have to admit it. My buy point at the farm is not something you have. You can have something similar, like a little silo, where they co-op. See, when I grew up, our co-op would do our liquid fertilizer and our lime spreading and things like that. So the co-op would bring big, giant pallets. They were big, clear pallets. Get out of here so I can. They're big, giant, clear pallets, and they're huge. They hold like 3,000 gallons. It's like it holds as much as my pool. It's sad. It's crazy. And my pool's like 4 foot on one end and 8 foot on the other, and I don't think it took me much over probably maybe 4,000 gallons total to fill the thing. I don't know, the fire department filled it. But it's funny because they would bring these big giant pallets that look like these, okay? But instead of, I mean, this is how they would bring them, and then they would hook a hose. Let me show you my mouse. Right here, they'd hook a hose up, and it would drain into like one that was like 5 times the size of this. And that's where your fertilizer would go. It would stay right on your farm, and then when you wanted to fill your implements, you hooked up a hose, and it drained right into it. It was crazy. But they were absolutely huge, because I remember playing on them when I was a kid. And then there was one summer that Dad decided to go with the powdered fertilizer until we got in trouble with that. My brother-in-law forgot to wrap it up, and it wasn't all the way in the barn, and it rained, and it got all the bags like soaked, and it ruined. So very quickly, Dad went back to the liquid fertilizer, and but we didn't do it. They brought tractors, and the co-op would take care of it themselves. They brought big machines that looked like this. And come in, but it wasn't like 26, 30 meters. They were only like 12. They'd bring in little machines, and they'd go around your farm. Then they'd give all the readouts to my dad and depend like all the nitrogen level and all that stuff. Well, my half an hour is almost up. It goes absolutely insane fast, doesn't it? But I also spent 5 minutes explaining the tractor. I won't do that every time, because that's 5 minutes less of farming that we've got. Now, tomorrow, after I upload this, I'm going to be working quite a bit off camera on this map. This map. But I want to get an idea real quick how wide this is. Never used a 40-meter equipment in my entire life. Look at that. That is absolutely insane. I figure at 40 meters, you're going to cover probably 20 acres at a time. That's crazy. Ooh, got a little bit of frame drop there. That's crazy. All right, so let me get up here, and I'll grab Joe, who's heading down to the end of the field anyways. We'll keep our tractors together, because I'm going to be working off camera. It won't be tonight, because I'm going to render this up, put this on YouTube, and then Fury's going to sleep. I'm sleepy tonight. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. Make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, the whole blah, blah, blah stuff. We're going to stop him right here. Let me get into 24.6 acres just in that. See what I mean? It's just insane. I'll let him get turned around, or yeah, let him get turned around, and then we'll stop him in the mid-pass so that I can just hire him. Now, I'm probably going to have to take out a loan. Is that a red tint? That's nuts. I always let them. Try not to start a. There you go. A little word of advice to everybody: if you're going to hire a worker, don't hire a worker off like site, because you never, ever, ever will get it lined up again. All right, that'll do her. We got our monstrosity home. That's the advantage, because I still have the ability to take a $500,000 loan if I want. But on that note, everyone, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope I taught you guys a few things today. I hope you like and subscribe and share. Just a little baby channel like mine really appreciates it. Even if it's just a few views, it makes me feel important. Let me get up here like I normally do. And as always, look out for yourselves. Look out for each other. Most importantly, look out for each other's families. And just enjoy, because I sure enjoy making these videos for you guys and teaching. So, without further ado, I'll catch every single one of you on the flip side. Enjoy your night, everyone.